This is President Trump. Smash the like button. If you believe that MJF has taken a step backwards in 2024, come on, you have to press the like button for that. This is common knowledge.
So here's my list of all the most improved fake pro wrestlers of 2024. Number 1 is Braun Breaker. That guy, he is going to be the face of the company very, very soon. He improves every match. For the past 3 years, he does not decline. He does not go backwards. He goes forward. Every match Braun Breaker has, he looks entertaining and he improves every match. I guarantee you this, the moment he drops that belt, he is going to be a main eventer. He is going to challenge for the world title the moment he drops the IC belt. And I like how he is trying to make a name for himself. He is trying to be his own man. 3 years ago, a lot of idiots were crying about his name. I was the only one on YouTube who had the balls to say that maybe Braun Breaker gave himself that name. You dumbasses thought that, oh, he was being punished. You thought, oh yeah, they don't like Scott Steiner, so they don't want to give him that last name. I'm like, nah, bitch. 2 months after his debut, Braun Breaker had an interview. He said that he gave himself the Braun Breaker name. Who was the first one to tell you that? It was me. I was the first one on YouTube who made a video saying maybe Braun Breaker gave himself that last name because maybe Braun wants to be his own man. He don't want to piggyback off the Steiner last name. Case in point, that was facts. He proved me right. Go look it up. He named himself Braun Breaker. And now years later, nobody calls him Braun Steiner. People call him Braun Breaker. People got used to that name. I think Braun Breaker is the perfect guy to retire Bill Goldberg. I think that will be Bill Goldberg's last match. Why not put over Braun Breaker? I think Bill Goldberg said, out of all the guys in this business, he said that Braun Breaker reminds him of himself. And also, before Cody Rhodes came back to the World Wrestling Federation, Braun Breaker was my number 1 choice to dethrone Roman Reigns for the world title, because I felt like Braun Breaker was the future of the World Wrestling Federation, and I was right. So, my second choice on this list, it is Dirty Ass Dominik. Listen, fun fact, I used to be the biggest hater of Dirty Ass Dominik 3-4 years ago. I called him the next David Flair. You see, that's how real I am. I keep it 100. You see, I got the balls to admit that I was wrong about a fake pro wrestler. I called Dirty Ass Dominik the next David Flair. I'm on video saying this 4 years ago. You see, this is why I'm the best. My takes evolve. My opinions, they evolve over time. I don't stay on one side of the goddamn fence. I give fake pro wrestlers time to improve. And maybe they can change my opinion. That's what makes me the best. When it comes to fake pro wrestling, this is a very hard job to do every week. So I give people chances to improve every week. If I see improvements from a fake pro wrestler, I will put that wrestler over. I will give them their props where it's due, because I am very objective. Dirty Ass Dominik, he did everything that I told him to do. He has charisma. He has a character. He has a look. He looks very unique. Every year, Dirty Ass Dominik, he improves his gimmick every year. He always evolves. He always reinvents himself every year. He goes from the jail time Dominik. He goes from the simp, Rhea Ripley Dominik. He goes from that to the alpha male Dom, Daddy Dom with Liv Morgan. I've lost track of all the nicknames he has. Latino Cheat, Dirty Ass Dom, Daddy Dom, Jail Time Dominik. He has so many nicknames. That's called reinvention. I'm telling you, back in 2019, Dirty Ass Dom was boring. He was bland. He had no charisma. He couldn't talk. Rey Mysterio and Dirty Ass Dominik, they were a boring tag team. They had no chemistry. They looked like Ric Flair and David Flair. That's how bland they were. Tons of fans were saying, how come Dirty Ass Dominik don't have the talent of a Rey Mysterio? Because he was trying to be like his stepfather, Rey Mysterio, and that did not work out. But once he woke up and realized who his real father is, his real biological father, Eddie G, that's when Dirty Ass Dominik became a superstar. Once he decided to lie, cheat, and steal, that's when Dirty Ass Dominik became a star. With the mullet, with the mustache, with the gimmick changes, that's Eddie G. Eddie G was known for always evolving his gimmick. I went from being his biggest hater to now I'm his biggest fan. And that's why ESPN voted Dirty Ass Dominik the #1 wrestler under 30 years old in this business. He beat out Rhea Ripley, he beat out Braun Breaker, he beat out MJF. Like I told you 2 years ago, I said that Dirty Ass Dominik was the #1 heel in this business. Was I wrong? Nope. That's why ESPN voted Dirty Ass Dominik #1 ahead of Max. So here's my prediction for next year. I think that Dirty Ass Dominik will be a world champion on Raw, but there is a strong possibility he might beat Finn Balor for that world title. Do not rule out the possibility of Finn Balor beating Gunther for the world title. And then that's when we get Dirty Ass Dominik versus Finn Balor for the world title. Because it feels like they are trying to plant seeds of a breakup between Finn Balor and Dirty Ass Dominik. I say, why not? Why not have Gunther drop that belt to Finn Balor? I feel like that's more realistic to have Dirty Ass Dominik pin and defeat Finn Balor for that world title next year. So here is my honorable mention on this list. I'm gonna say all the women down in NXT. Every single female on that roster has improved. I can't just pick one. Every sexy ass, super thick lady on that roster has improved in the year of 2024. Especially Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade, super thick Miss Lyons, you got Miss Parker, you got Miss Jackson, Lash Legend, Sol Ruka. That whole roster has improved in the year of 2024. So who's next on my list? It is Kyle motherfucking Fletcher. I'm just hoping that Tony Khan Man do not drop the ball on Kyle motherfucking Fletcher. That guy has it all. Kyle reminds me of a young Randy Orton. I say, why not? Why not have Kyle take inspiration from a young Randy Orton? Why not? Why not learn from the best? I'm telling you, I had some dumbass tell me that Con Man is trying to make Kyle motherfucking Fletcher the next Randy Orton. So? How is that a bad thing? That means Con Man is trying to build up homegrown talent. Who cares if Kyle Fletcher is trying to be a bootleg Randy Orton? He's young. Most likely, Orton was his idol. So, how is that a bad thing? That he wants to be like a young Orton. You gotta learn from somewhere. And most likely, Orton was his idol. It's not his fault that Kyle Fletcher is 6'5", 240, the same size as a young Randy Orton. How was that a bad thing? Why not try to emulate greatness? Orton is greatness. So yes, I co-sign Kyle Fletcher trying to be the next Randy Orton for All Elite Wrestling. That's a good thing. I'm like, huh? I don't get you people. Dude, Randy Orton, he said that his all-time favorite fake pro wrestler was Stone Cold Steve Austin. And yes, I did see a lot of Austin in a young Randy Orton in his prime. Come on, man, don't try to act like Randy Orton was not trying to be like Stone Cold Steve Austin. He calls himself the Viper. Well, a Viper is a fucking snake. Well, what do they call Stone Cold Steve Austin? The Texas Rattlesnake. So yes, you have to take inspiration from your idols. For example, look at Dirty Ass Dominik. Ever since he became his father, Eddie G, Dominik has become a superstar. Ever since he realized he is a Guerrero. But let's talk about 2025. I predict that Kyle motherfucking Fletcher will leapfrog MJF on that roster. Just like how Dirty Ass Dominik has leapfrogged MJF in this business. I'm telling you, Max is on the decline. I guarantee you this, Kyle Fletcher will be better than Max next year. He will be higher up on the card than Max next year. I guarantee it. So, who's next on my list? It is Takeshita. I'm glad that Con Man is finally pushing Takeshita. I can't believe it. It took Conman damn near 2 years to realize that Takeshita, he beat Kenny Omega twice. I'm like, Takeshita, he should have gotten pushed the moment he turned heel with Don Callis. Takeshita reminds me of Bolo Young from Bloodsport, the movie. Takeshita is a goddamn star. He has size, he has a good look, he can wrestle. If he was in NXT, he would be a world champion. I think Takeshita would beat Trick Williams for the world title in NXT. That's how good he is. So after 2 years, I'm glad that Conman is finally pushing Takeshita, and I'm glad that he buried Ricochet. I think that Takeshita is one of the most improved fake pro wrestlers of 2024, and that's why Takeshita made the top 10 list of all the best fake pro wrestlers under 30 years old on the ESPN list. So who's next on my list? It is sexy ass Liv Morgan, to live and die in LA. It's the place to be. When it comes to the women's division on Raw, sexy ass Liv Morgan has carried that division all year long without Rhea Ripley. And that is a stone cold fact. That woman has improved. Like I said, sexy ass Liv Morgan and dirty ass Dominik, they make a great duo. They remind me of a young Edge and Lita. Sexy ass Liv Morgan, to live and die in LA. That woman has improved from 5 years ago to now. So who's next on my list? It is Chelsea Green. That woman has carried the women's division on SmackDown all year long. That woman has improved. The moment they announced the female United States Heavyweight Championship, I was the first one to say it should be Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green should be the first one to win that championship because Chelsea deserves it. So here is the difference. I said that Chelsea Green will be the first one to win that championship, but I did not say that about Ivy Nile. I just said that Ivy Nile should win that IC belt. My prediction was Chelsea Green was going to win that US belt, but with Ivy Nile, I said she should win it, because her and Chad Gable would have fun with that title. But I knew that Ivy Nile was not going to win that IC belt. I just felt like she was a great choice. But I did not predict that Ivy was going to win that belt. It just feels like every time Chad Gable wants to mentor somebody, they become jobbers. Just look at Otis. Look at the Creed brothers. Look at Ivy Nile. It just feels like Chad Gable is bad luck. So who's next on my list? It is Trick Money Williams. I was the first one to tell you that Trick Williams was going to be a star. He was going to be bigger than Carmelo Hayes. I was not wrong. I was right, like always. I think that Trick Williams is the most improved fake pro wrestler on the NXT roster. And when Trick gets caught up, he is going to be a star, just like Braun Breaker. He will be bigger than Carmelo Hayes. He will not be a jobber because of that theme song. That theme song will be over on the main roster. Mark my words. Trick Williams will be the next Booker T on the main roster. I guarantee it. So who's next on my list? It is Jey Uso. He might be the most improved fake pro wrestler on that Raw roster. Hell, might be in the entire company. Now, let's talk about 1 year later. Jey is more over than LA Cosplay, and he sells more merchandise than LA Cosplay. In my book, that's called improvement. He is now better than LA Cosplay, and he's more over than LA Cosplay. So who's next on my list? It is Super Thick Willow Nightingale. Because to my knowledge, I think that Super Thick Willow is a multiple time champion in the year of 2024. I think that Willow is a star. I wish she was in NXT. I think Super Thick Willow is one of the most improved fake pro wrestlers in all elite fake pro wrestling this year. So who's next on my list? It is Super Thick Anna Jay. That woman has improved overseas and in the US. And she has challenged for multiple championships this year in all elite fake pro wrestling. She is no longer known as Jack Perry's girlfriend. I'm telling you, Super Thick Anna Jay has made a name for herself this year without Jack Perry. I'm just glad that Con Man is putting Super Thick Anna Jay on TV. It is a travesty if Anna Jay is not on TV. That woman is super thick. So who's next on my list? It is Brian Pillman Jr. and Big Tony D'Angelo. Those two men have made drastic improvements all year long. I'm telling you, this version of Brian Pillman Jr., he reminds me of a young Chris Jericho from WCW. So who's next on my list? It is our real tribal chief, Solo Sikoa. He might be the most improved male wrestler on SmackDown, might be in the whole entire company, because he has proven he is a main eventer. That's what people don't talk about. Solo has proven he is a main eventer. Listen, next to him and Cody Rhodes, Solo has carried SmackDown all year long without Roman Reigns. You gotta put some respect on Solo Sikoa's name. I love you, Solo. And yes, that is facts on facts. Solo is our real tribal chief. Solo is here every week trying to push numbers. I love you, Solo. And yes, that is facts on facts. Solo is our real tribal chief. Just like what Jacob Fatu said, I love you, Solo. And Solo has proven he can talk. Solo has proven he can cut a promo. So for the past, 2-3 years, this man has not said a word behind Roman Reigns. But the moment Roman left to go home, Solo has proven he can be a top guy. Solo improves every week. So yes, please put some respect on our real tribal chief's name, Solo Sikoa. I love you, Solo. So who's next on my list? It is Jack Perry. It goes without saying. That man has evolved. From 2019, he goes from Tarzan to Raven. That's called improvement. I think he is the best out of the four pillars, Sammy G, Darby, Max, because at least Jack Perry has evolved. It's called trying to reinvent yourself. He's no longer Tarzan. Good Lord, can you imagine if Jack Perry was in NXT? Man, Jack Perry would be a star if he was in NXT. Can you imagine Shawn Michaels booking Jack Perry? By the way, I still believe that Jack Perry, he should have pressed charges on CM Punk for assault. That was assault. That was an unprovoked attack by CM Punk. Jack Perry did nothing wrong. So how is it Jack Perry's fault that CM Punk is a hothead, a psychopath, an immature beta male prick? How is that Jack Perry's fault?